I'll be honest, I'm fatigued. I'm incredibly grateful for this game and the memories and connections I've made from it, but increasingly I felt more and more worn out with this game, entirely due just to the sheer amount of new releases we've been getting. I alluded to this in my previous video, but the current state of product feels frankly suffocating. From September of last year to April, we have Duskmourn, Foundations, Innistrad Remastered, Aetherdrift, and Dragonstorm. Hey, this is me in editing. What is this? No, like seriously, what is this? Why did... Oh my god. That's not also to count the respective 11 precons we will receive by April. With a pace of about a set every month and a half, that already leaves little time to enjoy these sets, but seemingly with an increasingly early preview season, each set really only has gotten 2 or 3 weeks to stand on their own merit before the focus is taken away from them in favor of newer sets. Aetherdrift, the newest set as of recording, had preview season start in October of 2024, 2 weeks after Duskmourn, within the set releasing February 14th. Then, on February 17th, spoilers for Final Fantasy began, which is releasing in June and isn't even the next set we will be getting. But as if the sets don't have enough time to breathe, spoiler seasons don't have that luxury too, as 2 days after the Final Fantasy spoilers, we not only got Dragons of Tarkir spoilers, but Edge of Eternity spoilers too. And the reveal of the Universes Beyond Avatar The Last Airbender set. Universes Beyond, I feel, has only incredibly exacerbated this issue of product fatigue. Because Wizards gets to take from a pre-existing world, that means there's less to do in the creation process of a set, making the expedited process of releasing more cards. So much so, it has started to feel like it takes away from the core Magic set. We were told that in 2025 we would be going back to Lorwyn, before it was delayed for 2026. If the set needs more time, I'm happy they are pushing back the release date to make sure that the set is as best as it can be. However, when in its place we were given 3 Universes Beyond sets in the second half of 2025, it begins to leave a bit of a sour taste knowing something people have been wanting to return to for nearly 20 years is being put on the back shelf so Dr. Octopus can battle against Vraska while Bart swatches with SpongeBob.
I want with SpongeBob.
It isn't inherently bad that we are getting new cards to enjoy, but the problem comes in 3 parts. The first being, with such a fast-paced release schedule of sets, we weren't really given enough time to enjoy the products Wizards are giving us. My favorite set in a very long time, Innistrad Remastered, was only given 2 weeks to be enjoyed before it was moved on to by, quite frankly, a set I found incredibly unappealing. But for those who were able to enjoy Aetherdrift, they only got 3 days of the set officially being released to enjoy it before the hype moved on to the next set. Not even the next set, the set after the next set. Hype is a very fragile resource. The easiest way to make people excited is by showing them new and powerful cards to make people want to buy your set. However, the problem comes when sets are being released so quickly after each other, the power creep no longer becomes a creep and starts to become, frankly, a sprint. If you were to compare Modern in the current day to Modern a year ago, you can see a stark contrast in just the sheer amount of new cards from the last year. To a more casual player, which I'd argue is a majority of the players, they may get invested into a new set, excited about the new powerful cards they may find, and then fade out for a moment before coming back to the game a few months later. Suddenly, all those cards they found exciting and thrilling are just alright now because of how accelerated the release has been and how fast the power creep has set in those sets, causing the players to feel as if their investment into the game has diminished. My third point and simplest is, honestly, it's just exhausting trying to keep up with all the new sets. Even if you were only to bother looking through the rares and mythics of these sets, you're looking at hundreds of new cards to get acquainted with, and most of them of which are seemingly increasingly irrelevant with each passing set. The solution to all of this would be make less sets, but unfortunately Wizards' parents company Hasbro are hemorrhaging more and more money each year, and Wizards being their biggest revenue stream, I feel very pessimistic that anything will change. So originally I was just going to leave the video off on here. However, since then I've had some additional thoughts when it comes to the new Final Fantasy set. Final Fantasy means a lot to me. When they announced that they would be doing a Final Fantasy set for Magic, I was beyond thrilled. I never at all really opened product to open it at this point. I only really opened product to play and draft, so I was going to make the final exception of getting a Final Fantasy box to enjoy my favorite series in my favorite game. However, when the prices were finally revealed, and it was revealed that boxes of Final Fantasy would cost over $200 for a supposed quote-unquote introductory product, I find that quite frankly absurd. It's the fact they're already changing the box structure and then afterwards upping a price of a box for a set that is meant to bring in new players, almost insulting them in a way, telling them that if you want to get into our game, you are going to have to pay more money than anyone else had if they got into a previous set. And I find that really, really gross. I don't give a fuck how many serialized Sephiroths or Cloud Strifes there are in this set. Nothing to me can make up for the fact that they're shorting this set so heavily they're having to be $200. Am I still going to be picking up singles for this set? Absolutely. I really, really want that Tara Bradford deck and even a Celeste Cherries deck, so God help me if she is not in that set, I'm going to scream. But am I willing to spend $200 on a single box when I can spend that same amount of money to go and buy something like a Ravnica Allegiance and Return to Ravnica box and have way more fun drafting that with friends for way longer than I would just tearing through a box? Probably. I know this is a lot more negative a video than my typical other videos, a lot less jokey at that, but I just wanted to share my honest thoughts when it came to this. I promise more entertaining, more interesting videos will be coming down the line.